we're going to go through Apple Classroom. It has changed a little bit if you have used it in the past. So what we're going to do is go through everything from the big time overview for an entire class all the way down to an individual student. So as you can see right here, I've got Apple Classroom. If I go to self-service, all I need to do is look for Classroom in self-service and install that. It does sync with Skyward, so it'll build all your classes for you. And it also, unfortunately, has the same names as your Skyward classes. So that being said, we can organize those. So as you can see on the teacher iPad here, I have some classes. If I press and hold, just like I am going to arrange iPad apps, I can press and hold and I can organize these. So I can actually take those through, get them in the right order, so it's going to make it easier for me to use in my classroom. After a while, I'll obviously know which one is which class in my day. So I'm going to open up the class here. As you can see, we have a bunch of students. So we have a little deal on the side. On the side, we have a toggle up in this top corner right here. When I touch that, it's going to remove and add. So that brings this to where I can see my classes and everything that I've got here. Right here, I have all students highlighted. So this shows that I have 10 students in this class. Where this says test right here, that would be your student's name. So I go across on this first one right here. It kind of looks like a piece of cake or layers of something. When I tap that, I get apps. These are apps that I have on my iPad that are also on my student's iPad. The students do not need the Classroom app. Only the teacher needs the Classroom app. That being said, if I'm going to use this feature, all of my students need the app and I need the app of what I want to open. Also, what's nice is once we get a lot of apps and later in the year, I can simply scroll down a little bit and I have a search. So I can actually click right here and put in a search. So for this, I'm going to open up the clock app. When I click this, it is going to open, as you can see on the student iPad, it opened on the student iPad as well. This is a great feature to where we can save some time. We talk about focus, flow, and efficiency in using Apple Classroom, and this is one of those tools. I can also click on the same icon, and down here in the bottom, I have a lock-in app after opening. I can slide that over. I can turn around and open an app. And what this does is it opens the app on the iPad and also locks it in. When you lock that in, you can hit the home button and it's not going to go anywhere. It is going to be locked into that app. You cannot get out of that. So on the next part, I can click done. Next to that is an icon for Safari. This is not the best tool to use to open up a website on your students' iPads, so I'm actually going to skip this part. Next to that, we have the 4 circles. When I click that, we actually have our iPad. So as I scroll down on this, we can actually see on this test iPad as a student, we can see that screen. One awesome thing about this too, I'm going to go ahead and make this where it's full screen. I can actually pinch and zoom to adjust the size of what those iPads look like on my iPad. So a great way to kind of zoom in. If I don't have a lot of students one day or something like that, I can actually zoom in and that fills my screen. Next to that, the circle with the 3 dots, that means more in Apple language. So when I click that, I have more options. As you can see, I have all the iPads locked right now. I can actually click this and it unlocks those iPads. So now if I go to the student iPad and I hit the home button, it is going to allow me to do whatever I need to do. Allows the student to journey into whatever other app they need to get into. Also under the more is mute. Mute's a great situation because if you have kids that are wearing headphones and working on something, you can actually go to here and mute them. And they're obviously going to look up and wonder what happened, and you can get them back on track or additional information that you need to provide, whatever that is. Likewise, if they don't have headphones on their iPads and things are getting loud and they're watching videos or anything like that, you can also hit mute and it'll mute the entire class's set of iPads. So a great deal from that. At the very top, we have lock. Lock is kind of a tricky thing. We really need to be very careful in utilizing lock. We need to give students either a countdown and then lock. So we'd give them 15 seconds to finish their thoughts instead of interrupting them. Or we can simply not use lock at all or only as a last resort. And we can use things like apples up, screens down, close your keyboards, some sort of prompt like that, just because we don't want to interrupt what their thoughts are. We want to give them that countdown, give them that chance to complete their thoughts. So lock is a tricky situation. I would only use that as a absolute last resort. Under that, we also see end class. I'm going to show you that at the very end of the video, so we're not going to worry about that at this point. I'm going to go back and extend my sidebar over. And down here, you can see that we have a button called New Group. So I click on New Group, and this is where I can actually create groups. So I'm going to call this Station 1. And with Station 1, when I hit this, you'll notice the iPads on the side. I can actually select students to be in that group. So now on the very top, up here, I can hit Done. So now you can see I have Station 1 highlighted. Now, all the commands that we had across the top right here, those are all now for just that group. So this is a really good situation to where if you have kids that have problems staying focused, you can actually lock those students just into the app that you want them to be in. Also, I can create additional stations. And so in kids having to get up and move around the room, go to another station, and then we have to bring everything back together to refocus. If it's something as simple as, hey, these stations are going to work in specific apps, then we can actually create those apps and guide them into what they need to be in for that focus. So stations are wonderful. We can create these groups, especially with differentiation and the new House bill and things like that. We can actually create all those groups that we need. Another wonderful thing about this is that it sticks. So once you end the class and the students leave and they come back on a different day or the next day, that station will still be there with the same kids. However, if you want to delete it, it's as easy as swiping to like delete an email. So I can swipe and I can actually delete that class. So again, a really great situation there. It's really wonderful. Utilize groups. It definitely can help create that focus and flow in your classroom. So we've gone from all students to a group. Now we're going to go down to an individual student. So in either all students or that station, I can touch the iPad of the student that I want to work with. So you can see I hit that and I have a lot of the same commands. I have open, view screen, lock, mute, all of that stuff. What we like here is that I can actually open this and I can lock or just open an iPad app on just one iPad. So it might be somebody that missed class last week, and so they need to take a test or catch up or whatever. I can actually do that just for that one student. I can also navigate. Again, we're not going to worry about this because I'm about to show you a different way to do that. And then we also have view screen. View screen is wonderful because I actually see their screen full size. So this would be a great opportunity if we're doing, students are explaining to the rest of the class or they want to show their work, things like that. Instead of you releasing AirPlay, the student has to go find the right Apple TV, put in the code, and then they can present. We can simply just use Apple Classroom and jump iPad to iPad so those kids can quickly go through and show what they know. This does not work with audio or video, so this would not be a situation that you would want to use that for. If you're going to have something that the kids are going to present with audio and video, then we would actually really want them to AirPlay to the actual Apple TV instead of doing it this way. But this is a great way to go through it. excellent as far as efficiency and being able to go iPad to iPad. Likewise, mute that one student needs to be muted. We can actually mute that one student. So a really great situation from that. This is a great situation to also have differentiation for that student. So we went from all students to a group to an individual student. So you can kind of see how versatile this is and how you build things. The next thing I'm going to show you is that navigation tool. So this only works in Safari. So I'm going to take you to Safari here. And we have a website. As you can see, I have several tabs across the top. To start my day, I might actually want to prepare by having the websites that I know I will need to share with students for the day. I can actually go up here to our Sharo or Share Square, touch that. I can go to AirDrop, and then here you can actually see I have my entire class, and then I also have my stations, my groups that I built. So I can touch that, and it is going to open. As you can see on the student iPad, it took it just to that tab. So I can actually open up a website. I don't have to have anything saved. I can have everything ready to go. And also you can see it only sent that one tab. It did not send any of the additional tabs to the student iPad. So this is another great situation for that focus, that flow, and also obviously efficiency, that I can turn around and open a website on my students' iPads very quickly. I don't have to worry about having QR codes and everybody having to get up and use their camera to scan the QR code to open that up. This allows them to really, truly, hey, it's ready to roll. So great situation for students, great situation for you, really efficient way of opening websites that may have complex URLs and website names and things like that. This can get them there quickly. Also, I want to show you, if you test with Eduphoria, there is an app in the self-service that is called Eduphoria Student Portal. It is this app right here with the LCP on it. I'll open that, and what you can see here, this is the blue screen Eduphoria, so this is for students. The orange screen Eduphoria is for teachers, so that's how you can know the difference between the two. Also, what's very cool about this is when I go up and try to change the website, I cannot change the website. So if I click up here to try to change it, it's not going to allow me to change it. Likewise, I don't have a plus here, so I can't open an additional tab to where I could go to Google, search for answers, or do anything like that. So if we combine the idea of this web clip app with the power of Classroom, I can actually lock students' iPads into the Eduphoria student portal. So I can actually lock them in, or I can use groups and actually lock individual students or a group in. So again, if we have a student that's missed a day and they're coming back and they need to take that, you can actually lock that one student to the Eduphoria portal. So again, a great way to test if you run tests through Eduphoria. Lastly, I'm going to go to all students, and again up here in the very corner we have the more. I'm going to go down to end class. When I click end class, you're going to see app usage and students. So it will actually show you a summary of the activities that you used in that class from the time you started Apple Classroom till you ended class. So if I hit calendar, it's going to show that this student was in calendar for 1 minute. If you had lots of students that day, it's going to list all of those students and the amount of time that they were in each one of these apps. Also, if I click on the student itself, as you can see, it shows what that student did throughout the day. So this can be really good insight and feedback for you to where you can see, hey, they spent a lot of time in this app, so obviously they're enjoying it. So I may lesson plan for that engaging lesson to where I'm incorporating the lessons that they like. So this is a great situation, again, to turn around and have those things built for those students to where you're creating that engaging lesson. This does not save anywhere once you hit done. So you will obviously want to take a screenshot if you need to capture that data. But once I hit done, it is gone. That's not saved anywhere. So again, that's a quick rundown of Apple Classroom. If you've used it before, you could obviously see that they've made a few changes. We haven't lost any functionality, and I really do like the fact that we have more room on the screen of our teacher iPad to see all those things that we need to see, and not have that bar across the top, honestly, kind of wasting space. So if you have any questions at all, reach out to your DLS, and you can always email help@lcisd.net.